Hello, people, and welcome to this week's podcast. I am Paula Warman, your host, and this week we're just going through all the tips I shared over on the Landscaper Circle page on the Instagram, Facebook pages over the last few weeks about generating more inquiries, ways to do that really. And as this is quite a hot topic, I've just come off a call where we discussed this again, being part of what's going on at the moment. I think you'll love this episode. So let's go to the show.
As the founder of the Landscaper Circle and the Limitless Landscapers podcast, I am here to help you get more money, time, and freedom to make your life and business truly limitless. Through my experiences as the owner of a garden design and landscaping business, and through tried and tested methods, if you want help with the marketing, managing, and growing of your business, then you are in the right place. If you are a landscaper, garden designer, horticultural business, or a supplier to the industry, be sure to hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. Now, let's get back to the show.
Hello guys, happy Wednesday people. How are you all? So yes, this episode is going to be all about ways to generate more inquiries, ways to build your funnel, I suppose you could also call it. And I think some people are getting nervous because I don't know about you, but the industry is taking a bit of a dip, and you know, it could just be where cost of living has gone up and people are tightening their belts, or they're going away on holiday, they're preparing for school holidays, which is just around the corner. And so they're not probably thinking about their garden, or they're kind of like, we'll leave it for a bit, see how everything goes, which is fine. I think we can all weather the storm, so that's not a problem. But I did want to share with you a sort of recap of things that I've shared over the last few weeks over on the Landscaper Circle account, on ways to get these inquiries in, ways that you might not have thought of, simple low cost ways as well. I'm not going to be talking about paid advertising or boosting posts or anything like that. I'm not talking about really costly ways to market your business. I'm just going to share a few ways that I've used over the years that have worked for me, and some that continue to work for me really well. But what's been going on in your lives, guys, at the moment? Do you feel that we are in a dip? Do you feel that business has got quieter or even stalled? Message me. It'd be lovely to hear your feedback on this. For us, it's definitely slowed down, but I feel that you get a couple of really, really quality inquiries, and there's less to wade through really. There's still quite a few what I would call tire kickers and not really my clientele, but we are getting some really good ones in as well. So it's a bit of a mixed bag, but we were discussing this, me and Mike, saying that this time of year always tends to get more of the time wasters, not the serious projects or the smaller projects. When you go into autumn, winter, that's when you get your really quality inquiries, where people are actually planning for next year, where they know they're going to have to wait for a good landscaper, and they are planning their garden, their outdoor space for that time. So you tend to get better inquiries then anyway. So I'm not that worried. Are you? I'd be interested to know your thoughts on this. But yes, I'm going to share with you four ways really that I've used in my business successfully to get people in the funnel. And what I mean by getting people in the funnel, I'm not talking about closing sales and getting people to become clients. I'm talking about actually lead generation activities, things that are going to get you details of people that are interested, and then what you do with them is then what is the sales process, which if that's something you guys are interested in talking about, I can jump on a podcast next week and talk about that. Let me know, as always. So number one, I'm going to talk about what we started with, what feels like ages ago, but we were talking about referrals, and I'm not just talking about referrals from clients. You know, there's multiple ways you can get referrals. So you can ask happy clients to refer their friends and family to you. You can look at referral schemes, actually setting up a scheme for people to refer their friends and get rewarded for it. Now you could do this through vouchers or a gift or money off. I wouldn't advocate that, but you know, there's lots of ways you can encourage people to give you referrals to contact. And also you can ask your contacts for referrals. And I think this is one that people don't think about. So do you utilize the contacts you've built up in the industry, outside of the industry, that could potentially feed you leads and inquiries? A really simple example of this is, are you a landscaper? Have you tapped into garden designers in the area that could potentially feed you leads? Are you a designer? Have you tapped up the landscapers in the area that could feed you leads? Architects, people in your network, networking groups, local. If you're part of any associations like the APL Barley, SGD, have you contacted people in there? You know, there's multiple ways you can get referrals, and not just your standard asking for them from your clients. So thinking of referrals in a different way, and also a really simple way of asking for a referral is when you're asking for a testimonial. So if you are in the habit of gathering testimonials from clients that you've finished, then that is a great time to ask for a referral as well. So that's sort of a rundown on referrals. Now, I have utilized different things in my landscape and design business that have worked really well. I have utilized an actual referral scheme where people could refer a friend and they would both get vouchers for John Lewis, and that worked really well. I've also utilized where we go and collect a testimonial and then ask for a referral at that point as well. And I also give referral cards in their thank you cards when I go and deliver a thank you for, you know, choosing Aura Landscapes to do their project and it's completed. So I do that as well. So there's a few ways that you can try and get referrals from people. You can do it on the phone, you can do it through email, you can do it through a letter, you can do it on message. You know, if you want to connect with your LinkedIn contacts, for example, if you think some of them would be able to refer work to you, that is an online messaging side of things and nurturing relationships on that online platform. But just start thinking outside the box. Who do you know that A, is around your ideal client, or B, that's happy to recommend you, that's a super fan of your business, that would happily recommend you to everybody? Get around more people like that. See who knows who. I mean, it's amazing. When you start talking to people, you start to see how small the world is. So, you know, I think we don't utilize the fact that we can ask for referrals. It's not embarrassing anymore. You know, you've got to get used to asking for referrals or asking for help from other businesses, and really working on connecting with others that work with you, and really looking where your ideal client hangs out. I think, you know, it's well worth mentioning at this point, revisiting your avatar, looking at your ideal client is key before you start any sort of lead generation activities that I'm talking about in this episode. So number 2 is your website. And I could talk all day about websites. Not that I'm a web developer by any means, by any way, shape or way. You know, I am not a web developer. However, I know a bit about how websites work and what websites are good and how they can work better, purely because obviously I've had my website created by my amazing web developer Freestyle for Aura Landscapes. I've also worked with lots of other web developers in building an online shop, which was, yeah, quite a challenge to say the least. And I've also built websites myself, very simple websites, I might hasten to add, in Squarespace. And I kind of know what works. My landscaping business generates leads via the website all the time on a daily, weekly basis. Always getting inquiries through the websites, and I do believe it's down to a number of things. And the things that make the difference on the website is making it easy to use. Today I've been on a call discussing websites with one of our TLC clients, and their website isn't as easy to use as it could be, and we were just discussing that and what content to put on there. So you need to make it usable and think about how your clients and potential customers want to use your website. Is it easy for them to navigate around? Is it easy for them to fill out your contact form? Where do you want them to go? And that's where the second thing that's really important for a website is your call to action. So these are things where you want people to ultimately get to, so they can fill in their details, so you can contact them and book them in as a paying client, ideally. And we have call to actions listed all through our website, particularly on my landscaping website, where people can request a brochure, they can request a quick quote, they can fill in the contact form, It's designed to get them to fill in their details so that we can then contact them offline and get them booked in. Ideally, if they match our ideal client avatar, we get them booked in and hopefully become a paying client. So call to actions are really important. Content is really important. You need to think about not only keywords, what search terms people are using on the Google, but you also need to think about how it reads to you. So it needs to read well to the client. It needs to connect with that client. It needs to answer their questions, give them a reason to contact you, and it needs to make you, elevate yourself to be the expert in that field, in the area that they want to work with. So your content is really key, because you need to make sure you're getting all of that across in what you're showing them, what images you're using, and also what copy you're writing. So don't get hell-bent on the keyword side of things. Keywords are important, but so is connecting with your client and connecting with your audience. So connection is really important as well. And if you're just writing in a search word term style, it probably won't connect with an actual human being, which is what you want. Another thing that I think everyone needs to do is to show more of yourself on the website. You need to make it more personable, because people buy from people. They do not buy from a website. Well, they do if you're an e-commerce site, I suppose, but we're trying to sell quite a high-end service, and we need to put more of ourselves out there, because people need to connect with people. So you need to show the human element. A lot of people don't like it. They feel embarrassed, or they think they want to look a bigger company than they are. But I do love a meet the team. I do love seeing the owners, images. It's nice. And another thing that I really hate on landscaping websites is not using your own images. So you might use stock images, and they're so easy to spot. So always use your own images. Invest the money in getting a photographer. If you've got no really good photos, invest money in getting a photographer to go around to a couple of your really good projects that you want to showcase, the projects that you want more of, and get them done. There's loads of other things I could say about your website, like make sure your portfolio's up to date, make sure it's easy to, build case studies from your portfolios, make sure you're really telling the client what services you provide and also the benefit of that service, not just telling them all the features. It's talking about utilizing and selling the benefits of the service that you're providing, whether that's design and build or maintenance or just design, whatever it is. You need to sell the benefits of using you and what that will do for them. So your website, for me, it's my biggest marketing tool, marketing strategy, I suppose, for my business. This is where I spend most of my time. This is where most of my inquiries come from, and everything else is bolted around that. The website is the key, because I feel it's the best platform for us. And some people don't even have a website, and I would say that I personally think it's a great addition to any business. And if you keep it updated, if you look at your SEO, if you're really looking at how you can make your website work for you, and tweaking it, then absolutely go all in on your website, would be my opinion. Now, if you are a TLC member, we do have quite a few topics around copywriting, imagery, SEO part 1, and we will have SEO 2 coming out soon, which will go more into in-depth strategies on SEO, and a local SEO one that we'll do as well over the next few months. But essentially, if you are a TLC member, there's a few topics in there to get you started at looking at your website, reviewing your website and making it work for you. So head on over there. Then I'm going to talk about lead magnets. Now, I talked about this in my live on Friday from Lacken College, and lead magnets are so good. If you get it right, lead magnets are awesome. Now, some people, if you don't know what a lead magnet is, it is a piece of content that you give away for free in return for someone's contact details. And the benefit of this is we are all on social media, we're all online, but we do not own any of the data that's on our Instagram profile, for instance. So you may have 10,000 followers. If Instagram took away your profile that day, you would have no one and you'd have to start from scratch. And that's taken a lot of time and effort to build. So the idea is you offer lead magnets freebies that people want, that are quality, and they actually do what they say they're going to do on the tin. And you get them off the online platform, i.e. social media, and you put them into a database which then you own and you can market to sell your products, grow your business. So that's the beauty of a lead magnet. And there's no end of ways to create a lead magnet. And some people will say, oh, it's too time consuming. It really isn't. Lots of us have created lots of content that we haven't truly utilized. So I would seriously urge you to look at repurposing your content when it comes to reviewing what lead magnets you could offer. It often, I'll give you some examples that work quite well. You can have a masterclass that's not live, that people can tune into. They just fill in their details and they get dropped the masterclass that they can watch. You can have video training. You can have a quiz. You can have brochure. You can have three things that you need to know about garden design, or things that you need to know before you employ a garden designer. You can have goal setting, like planners and things like that. You can have a checklist document. Loads of different things that you can use that are of interest to your ideal client, your avatar, that they will give you their contact details for. So you own their, not own, I suppose, but you can access their, they've given you with permission their contact details, so then you can market to them off of the back of that. And lead magnets don't have to be fancy, they just have to be valuable. So it's got to answer questions that your clients are asking you. So think about, what things do you get asked all of the time by your clients? Could you create a lead magnet to answer those questions? In which case, if the answer is yes, go create it and start promoting it. Because the key is, you can't just create a lead magnet and expect people to go there. You will then need a marketing strategy around that lead magnet to ensure people know about it, they can access it, and they'll give you your details. So lead magnets are personally widely underused, but they can be fantastic and very easy to set up. If you need any help on that, let me know, because we've set up quite a few. I mean, if, for example, go to TLC website and you'll see you can get a productivity planner. That's an example of a lead magnet. If you've joined the waitlist, an example of a lead magnet, because you're getting a free resource from joining the waitlist. Becoming a student member, you get access to a free resource, which is essentially like a lead magnet. So yeah, it's well worth thinking about in your business what information you can give people that is valuable, that you can actually, build your inquiry list. And it's really cool to do as well. It's a bit of fun if you like stuff like that. I suppose if you hate marketing, it's probably not for you, in which case you probably switched off already. And the final thing I want to speak about is print. Now, people say print is dead, and fine, that's fine, but I do often also think that a localized leaflet drop, if you are a landscaper, can work really well if you've got the right content on that leaflet. So I had a few leaflets delivered today, which some of them look god awful. Yeah, so if you're watching on YouTube, you'll see these examples, but essentially I got one for a beauty clinic sent through today. And there's nothing wrong with this person's, beauty clinic. I expect it's very nice, but the leaflet is super small. So when that came through my door, I hardly even noticed it. Now, as I'm in the business of marketing and business growth, I noticed it because I'm looking for these things all the time and seeing how they could be improved or used, or, are they a good idea, bad idea? So I nearly missed that. Plus the fact that the colour on the writing isn't very good against that colour. There's no strong branding. For me, that is not a great example of a leaflet that would use. However, this one I think is quite good. So a much bigger leaflet. It captures your attention with the image, not loads of writing, and it's fully branded. So as soon as I saw that, I knew it was for Pearson's estate agents, because it's fully in their colours, branding, font, everything. And that's quite nice. It's just a standout, catchy image, headline, branding. So that actually stood out. The third one, this. Now, I get what they're trying to do, but they're doing too much. So you don't know where to look. You don't you're reading everything, but nothing's really standing out. And it's the same information on both sides. So what was the actual point in that? For me, if you've got a double-sided leaflet, you need to utilize the first bit to capture someone's attention, and the reverse to give them more information on what it is you want them to do. And essentially that's the key for any print as well, is you still need to think about a good call to action. Do you want them to phone you, email you, go visit your Facebook thing, scan a QR code? I mean, we've got a QR code on our new leaflets that we had done for the Lackham College event, and it's just really cool. I really liked it because essentially everything I wanted to tell my ideal client who I was trying to attract is on a web page. Now the QR code they can scan and go straight to that web page and find out more. So it means that you're not having to write loads and loads and loads of, you know, information on a leaflet like that, because there's just a QR code, scan here, find out more, and then on the back some reiterative, you know, information of who you are. Another thing is there's 2 mobile numbers on here. I don't know if you can see. I hate that because it just doesn't look very professional. And yeah, that's just another thought on that one anyway. But essentially print can work, and I think it can work really well. But you need to really think about the design. You really need to think about where it's going and how it's going. See, these leaflets came tucked into this magazine. It would probably have had more impact if you'd gone around and posted it on your own, or paid someone to post it as a separate thing, because I've just got another load of leaflets through with the normal post. Again, I'm not sure they stand out so much because they just get grabbed up with all the posts and put on the table until someone goes through it. So yeah, there's just things to think about. And again, like I said at the beginning, none of these have to be expensive. With regards, sort of, if you don't know much about design, sort of with lead magnets and stuff or leaflets, you can pay someone, like there's a site called Fiverr. You can pay someone to mock up a design for you. I used it back in the day when I just started in the landscaping business and wanted flyers mocked up and ads in local magazines and things. We're talking 12 years ago, nearly 13 years ago. But essentially, it was just a very cheap way to get stuff done as and when you needed it, because not all of us are great on Canva or Adobe Suite or whatever you might be using for your designs. Also, looking at different printers, I always use a local business. So there's 2 companies around here that I always utilize for my print, and just asking them for the best price. I got given a price on Wednesday last week for the Lackham College flyers, and they came back to me and I said, look, that's a bit expensive, to be fair, and I am a client of yours that does use you all the time. And they came back, I just asked, can you do anything on that price? And they did. So don't be afraid to ask. Don't just take the price as the price. They might come back and say, no, that's the lowest price we can do, and that's absolutely fine. But don't be afraid to ask if you do feel like it's a little bit more expensive than you wanted to pay. What I would say about leaflets is not only like the content, but also the call to action, where you want them to go. And also the final thing, obviously, where are you posting these leaflets? Think about exactly where you are. I mean, I used to do a lot of leafleting in my old life as a membership salesperson. So I used to sell memberships to a gym, which luckily I enjoy that because I love the gym, as you know. We used to go out delivering leaflets to people, and you'd always be sort of mindful of where you were going. And particularly from those days, we used to call it outreach. We used to do it daily. We used to do an hour of outreach every single day, pick an area, ideally more affluent people that would have the disposable income to pay for a gym membership, and leaflet for an hour every single day. So just choosing different areas, seeing if this would, you know, boost our membership figures and stuff like that. And it's no different with the landscaping business. When I've been leafleting back in the day for new business in a fledgling landscaping business, it was looking at the houses, obviously picking the right areas, again, more affluent areas, but also looking at the types of houses. Now, it's hilarious because if you pay for a leaflet distribution company to do it, they might not be thinking really how we would be thinking. So essentially we offer garden design, transformation, and driveways and anything like that. So if you picked an area in that we wanted to target and there were flats in there, they would still get these leaflets. Now, what flat is going to need a driveway or a garden, to be fair? So it is really thinking about things logically like that as well. So yeah, things like this can work really well. I still use my sorry flyers for sorry for the mess, the noise, whatever, that go out to each side of my clients wherever we're working. And I still give a printed guarantee to people. So print has its place. And as a new startup, I definitely would look at print as a way to get the name out there, to get the word out there, to start people remembering who you are. You don't have to spend lots of money, but yeah, it's still a way forward. Print is still there. If you are looking at, going into things like magazines and stuff, again, look at the style of advert that you would want. Try not to get overdo the words, and also you have to be prepared that you have to sign up for a period of time. There's no point actually just doing 1 month. It won't do anything. You need to be in something repeatedly before people get the message. So thinking about a minimum of 3 to 6 months really would be my advice to you on that. So that's about it on, generating leads for your potential new sales and clients. I think it's definitely something you need to be mindful of. I definitely think it's something that we all should look at, our marketing strategies, even though we are probably all on the tools busy. I know my teams are. But yeah, we need to start looking at other ways to get people to choose you over your competitors, and ways to get in front of people, because some people actually have never heard of you. It's always amazes me. Locally, I don't get loads of work, even though we've got 3 sign-written vans driving around, site board outside my house. What else do we have? Well, obviously site boards around the area where we're doing jobs. And, I would assume that if they Googled, we're close to them. But yet my closest neighbours don't ever approach me for landscaping. And I see when they're having it done, I'm like, oh, why didn't they phone us? So it's kind of, have I actually marketed the area I actually live in enough? Or, because I do notice that I get certain areas at certain times of year, inquire and then become clients. So it's quite interesting. I would urge actually all of you, it's quite an interesting point, but have a look at if you don't already, you should know by now, but you should have an inquiry log that you review. I would start reviewing, have a look. It's quite a bit of fun if you've got some data on there. Have a look back and see what areas you're getting the most inquiries from, and then have a look at which ones actually bring the paying clients, because that's always a good way if you are looking to do some print advertising or localized marketing. Look at that, because obviously that's the area where you're getting the best clients from. So yeah, it's always quite interesting, and it's quite interesting how it changes over the year. So that's that. So anyway, guys, I'm going to let you go. I think I've rambled on enough. If you want any help with any of these things, TLC is here for you. We do help you market and grow your business. That's what it was created for. So please go and check us out, thelandscapercircle.co.uk. Join the waitlist for when we reopen the doors to membership, because you will get a bonus of planning your next 2 quarters out to make this a really good year for you. If you are a design graduate or student, or landscaping student or graduate, get in touch, because we do have the doors open to students and graduates only at this point. So you can come and join at the reduced student and graduate rate and get access to me, the group coaching sessions, and obviously all the training on marketing your business and everything else in between. So marketing, growing, starting your business. So if you are a student or a graduate in horticulture and you're interested, get in touch and I'll try and help you. If you love this episode, please leave a review if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, because it really helps us get to more people in the industry. If you're listening on Spotify, please give us a 5-star rating. Again, hopefully that will just get more people listening to us and getting more of the Limitless Landscapers podcast into the ears of other landscapers and garden designers and horticultural professionals. So I think next week, another hot topic is almost recession-proofing your business type thing, but not in that negative way. But I might do a topic on that next week, chat through that on the next podcast. But anyway, that's me for this week's episode. Hope you've enjoyed it. If there's anything you want me to go into in another episode of the podcast, get in touch. Follow me on Instagram at Warman Paula and at the Landscapers Circle. And yeah, let's go into this week strong, guys. Let's go get some more leads and get them into paying clients. Nice to speak to you. See you on the next episode.